Hello, 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 my brothers and sisters. Welcome to dinner time. Come on in. Come on in. It's your boy Tony in the house. Your brother Tony in the house. Your cook Tony in the house. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. I got some good soul food prepared for you all this evening. Come on in, my brothers. Come on in, my sisters. Invite some of your guests in for this particular broadcast tonight. It's going to be very healthy and very nutritional to you. How you doing, Sister Denise Bryan? How you doing? Come on in, brothers. Come on in, sisters. Invite some of your friends because we got plenty of seats and we got plenty of utensils and plates so you can get some of this good soul food this evening. I encourage you, brothers, and I encourage you, sisters, to be ready to receive what I'm about to give to you, okay? So come on in, come on in, come on in. In a few more seconds, we're going to jump right into this particular content. I hope that you all had a good weekend and the beginning of a new week. So come on in, come on in. I want you to be very comfortable. If there's anything that you would like to say during the broadcast, by all means, my brother and sister, you can say whatever you want to say, but be conscious and considerate with whatever you say before the brothers and sisters, and especially before the guests. So we're about to get right into this content shortly. So get ready and get prepared. All right, brothers and sisters, all right. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's your brother Tony is in the house. We got some good soul food to give to you all tonight, my brother and sister, and I hope that you're ready to receive it. How you doing, Sister Twyla Robinson? I see that you have just checked in. Come on in, my brothers and sisters. We got some good content tonight. And if this is your first time preparing to sit down and chat with us, my brothers and sisters, the rest of you brothers and sisters, and some of the guests, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about relationships. I talk about relationship basically from a spiritual perspective. When I say spiritual, when you go to the book of Genesis, as you know, when it comes to relationship, God first created the man named Adam. Secondly, he made the woman Eve, and he represented the woman to the man. Thirdly, the man said in the presence of God, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman because she came from man. That's the position I come from, my brothers and sisters. Now, if you're at this particular dinner table, if you have any other way of how you view a relationship, you have what is called a free will. Of course, God gave you a free will, and I encourage you to sit here and enjoy the soul food that I'm going to explain to you this evening. So I would like for you to know my position on. I come from a biblical perspective. When you go to the book of Genesis, this is where I come from. With that said, tonight's content, my brothers, tonight's content, my sister, is how does God want a man to treat a woman? Think about it. How does God, the creator of the universe, how does God want a man to treat a woman? Now, when we talk about how does God want a man to treat a woman, some of you saying, are you talking about women in general? I'm going to break it down. Basically, a man should treat every woman with thoughtfulness and kindness and consideration. Especially when it first comes to the first woman that a man basically exposed to is his mother. Then secondly, his sisters, if you have any sisters, and some of the female relatives in his family. And then it could come to next, if you have some daughters, we could say the daughters too. But primarily, I am talking about how does God want a man that's in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship with a woman. What I mean by being married. I also talk about some of you single brothers. If you are mindful or you're planning on investing your time into a woman, my brothers, and also some of you that are already married, this you need to listen to this evening because it's very important and it's very imperative how you treat a woman. Very, very important. Now, let's lay the foundation down, my brother and sister, and let's go to God's word. As it is written in Genesis 1:27. Again, Genesis 1:27. Genesis 1:27 say, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. So at the beginning of time, God created both the man and the woman in his image, male and female. That's how God started off, with a male and a female. He did not start the world off with two males. He did not start it off with two females. He started with a male and a female. And then we're going to go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11:7. Again, it's 1 Corinthians 11:7. 1 Corinthians 11:7, 1 Corinthians 11:7. As it is written, how you doing, Sister Teresa Toomer? As it is written, a man ought not to cover his head, since he is the image and glory of God. But the woman is the glory of the man. Now listen to this carefully. A man ought not to cover his head, because he is the image and glory of God. But the woman is the glory of the man. So the woman is the image of God. However, it's a little twist there. She is the glory of the man. Now, what does it mean, my brothers and sisters? What does it mean the man is the glory of God? This is exactly what it means by man is the glory of God. It means that the man was made in the image of God and is the glory of God, which means that the man was created first. The man was created first and the woman secondly. However, my brothers and sisters, the woman was made out of the man. You see, the woman was not created like the man was. The woman was made from the man. When God reached into the rib of that man, he closed the wound up. And that's why Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call a woman, because she came from where? She came from man. God created the man, but he made the woman from the man. Therefore, a man is a created being according to the accepted order of creation. And then, what is the accepted order of creation? The accepted order of creation, my brother and sister, we go to 1 Corinthians 11:3. 1 Corinthians 11:3. 1 Corinthians 11:3 says, but I want you to realize that the head of every man, the head of Christ is God. And the head of the woman is the man. And the head of Christ is God. I'm going to repeat that over again. But I will want you to realize that the head of every man is Christ. Correction. The head of every man is Christ. That's the position. And the head of the woman is the man. That's the position. And the head of Christ is God. So that is the order of creation, my brother and sister. Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and God are equal, yet they're different in position. Also, the man and woman are equal, however, they're different in their roles and position. That's why it said the head of every man is Christ, which means a man, we're condensing it down to a man that is in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship with a woman. So this man, he has to answer towards Christ. How you doing, Sister Ingram? He has to answer to Christ. And the head of the woman, she has to answer to the man. And when I say answer to the man, I'm talking about a woman that is in a serious, committed, and covenant relationship. She is married to the man. And the head of Christ is God. Christ have to answer to God the Father. Even though they're equal, but that's the order of the position. Now to sum this up, the man is the direct representative of God or Christ. He's the direct representative of Christ. And the woman is the direct representation of the man. And why do I say that? Because Adam said, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her woman. Because what? She came from man. Now the man is placed in a headship and leader role in the relationship. You must understand that. The man, listen, my brother and sister, listen carefully. The man is placed in a headship and leader role in a relationship. So, brother, if when it comes to a woman, you single brother, and some of you married brother, you should know this. When it comes to a relationship, brother, do not get married to a woman unless you're going to take the responsibility of headship and leader. Because if you marry a woman, my brother, God holds you totally responsible for that relationship. So you have to really think it out. Do you want to build a house with a woman? When I say a house with a woman, I'm talking about, do you want to build a relationship with a woman? If you're not going to come correct, brother, leave the woman alone. Leave her alone. Because as I have said on some of my previous broadcasts, brother, when you approach a woman, you're supposed to approach a woman not as a plaything, not as a disposable thing. But when you approach a woman, you're supposed to approach a woman with the mindset of, do I see this woman as wife material? If you do not see the woman as wife material, brother, leave her alone. You understand? If you are single brothers, I'm specifically talking to you single brother, if you do not see a woman as wife material, leave her alone. Because you are wasting her time and you could end up hurting her. And not only that, brother, you are wasting your time if you don't have the mindset. How you doing, Sister Deborah D. Scott? If you have the mindset of you don't want to advance the relationship. Because, brother, if you single, brother, when it comes to a relationship, and I have said this several times before, you do not date, brothers, just to have fun. When you date, brother, it is serious business. And we talk about the Western world. Now, in the Middle East, it's a different format. A lot of times, the young boys and the young girls, the marriage is arranged while they are young. But in the Western world, we approach it a different way. So from the Western perspective, the United States of America, basically, there's a thing called dating. So, brother, if you're going to date a woman, be straight up with the woman. Let her know what your intentions are. If you're not going to be serious with the woman, let the woman know you're not looking for a serious relationship. Don't have the woman guessing. Don't do certain things to mislead her. You see, not only can you mislead a woman with your verbiage, you can mislead a woman based on how you act. Because if you act like you're considering kind and stuff, but in your mind and heart, you know that you don't see that woman as your wife. As wife material. So, brother, just my thing about it, brother, just be straight up with the woman. Because a lot of times, brothers, what damage a whole lot of women is when a man mislead the woman. Women are emotional, therefore women listen and they watch the action. But what mostly get women is when they listen to you. Women listen to words and they look at actions secondary. They listen, then they look at the action. So, brother, when it comes to a woman, your verbiage needs to match your actions. And sister, you are held accountable for how you take this man in. Because I have said this on one of my broadcasts a few shows back. Sister, you are responsible for your own way of being too. So that's why I told you, sisters, when it comes to dating a man, you need to ask some pertinent question of that man. And I'm going to highlight some of the things that you need to find out. When a man approaches you, sister, he's either coming from God or he's coming from Satan. There's no in between. He's either going to be a worldly man or he's going to be a spiritual man. There's no in between. Therefore, sister, that's why you need to ask some pertinent questions when it comes to a relationship. And I'm going to say something to ask, like I have said on a previous broadcast. When it comes to a man, you need to ask that man straight up, what is it that you want from me? Or what do you need from me? Ask those two questions. What do you want, or what do you need from me? Remember, need and want is totally different. A man should need you before he wants you. Want is optional. How you doing, Sister Flo? A want is optional. A need is more important and more imperative to the life of a man. So you need to ask that question. What do you want or need from me? And then you're supposed to be quiet and listen to this man's response. And whatever he say, you should determine based on what he say, is it a need or a want? If you detect, because you should have the Spirit of God, if you detect that this man wants you, you should not advance the relationship if he's taught more on want. If you hear this man talk about me, myself, and I, that's an instant red flag where you don't need to go. So if the man needs you, you need to ask the man, why do you need me? And once you ask the man, why do you need me? You need to zip it up and listen to why this man needs you. He needs you from a worldly position or a spiritual position. And you have to listen, does this man need you for a spiritual benefit, God, or does he need you from a fleshly position? That's what you need to be able to identify. And while you asking the man this question, sister, you need to say a silent prayer to God and say, give me discernment so I can see whether this man that's in front of me, does he really need me or he want me? As you know, sister, most men, and I have said this several times and I'm going to say it again, on a scale between 0 and 10, 10 being the highest, out of 10 men, and I'm being generous, maybe 2 or 3 seriously may need you. The other ones, they want you. And what is it they want you? Come on, sister. You know what most men want from you. Not all men. Let me say that first. Not all men, but most men, sister, they want to have a physical relationship with you. How this world is today, that's what most men want. And these are worldly men. They might do some things for you, but they want you. Some of these guys, these worldly men, they might say, I'm serious and I'm committed, but they're not going to marry you. They don't want to do it God's way. They're going to do it the world's way. They don't need you. They just want you. Now, a spiritual man, he needs you. If a spiritual man come up, this man is positioned from God, because God set up the circumstance so the spiritual man can start conversating with you. This spiritual man, he should, brother, if you're a spiritual man, you're supposed to convey to the woman exactly what you need from her, because you're supposed to identify that woman if she is wife material or is she not wife material. Brothers, you men of God, if she's not wife material, leave her alone. You're doing her disjustice by manipulating her feelings. Because there are a lot of women out there, they really want to be in a relationship. And it's sad to say there are some women that feel desperate for a relationship. Not all, but there are a lot of them that are desperate for a relationship. Based on they see other couples together, and a lot of them, they feel like they want to be in a relationship. And a lot of times women get in a wrong relationship because it could feel like it's a little desperate situation. But sister, do not settle Sister, do not settle for any relationship. The only relationship that you should settle for is a relationship with a man that finds you through God. Now, the man that finds you, sister, he is going to convey to you what he needs from you. He needs a helpmeet or a helpmate. That's what he needs. A man of God doesn't need a girlfriend. He doesn't need someone that he go and see after 12 o'clock at night. He doesn't need a woman that he casually date. Those are options. A man of God, if he's a man of God and he have a desire for a woman, he should view you as wife material. If he does not view you as wife material, if he can't say exactly what he needs from you, you need to walk away from it. And a man of God, he has to be mature from a spiritual standpoint, because this man know that a woman is created to be a helpmeet. And there are some sisters, brothers, that look at a man to just take care of them. You do not select a woman to take care of her, brother. That's not what you need a woman for. You don't need a woman that you could take care of. That's not it. God don't say, find a woman that you could take care of her. God's position is a helpmeet that you need. You understand? You need a helpmeet. Now, the man is placed in a leadership role. Also, after the fall, my brothers and sisters, and I ain't talking about the weather fall, I'm talking about the fall when Adam and Eve messed up. After the fall, God verbally placed man over the woman. God verbally placed the man over the woman. And why did he do that? God did that because, as it is written in Genesis 3:16, again, Genesis 3:16, it says that he said to the woman, listen up carefully, sister, because this applies to what you said. What you said? I think I would say that 2 more times. Okay. I hope this is what you're talking about, Sister Flo. It said, the man is placed in the headship and leadership role. Also, after the fall, when the man being Adam and Eve, God verbally had to tell Eve the position of the man. He had to verbally tell Eve. He did not allow Adam to tell Eve. God set the perimeters for the woman's position. And in Genesis 3:16, God doing the talking to Eve, which applied to every woman after Eve that desire and will get married. So, sister, if you are planning on getting married, do not get married, because listen to this. God talking to Eve, I will sharpen the pains of your pregnancy. Okay, this is what God telling Eve. And in pain you will give birth. This is what God telling Eve, which apply to you sisters. And you will desire to control your husband. You see, God already know. God said, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. You see what God had to tell Eve? He said that you will have a desire, and that desire comes from the flesh, sisters. I'm not saying that. I'm just a news reporter at Station GOD. God clearly said, and you will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. Why did God say that? Because God knows, not Tony, but God knows in the deep part of a woman, from the flesh standpoint, she going to have a control attitude. Even the meekest one, it's a little control thing in the flesh. So if a woman have a little control thing, that's why she needs the Spirit of God. A woman needs the Spirit of God, brothers, so that she can submit to you. It's not natural for a woman to submit to you. It's not natural. Even though men that have got married to a woman, it's not natural. It's because a lot of these worldly men, they get involved with women that call themselves boss ladies and women empowerment ladies and women that how shall I say it? We need to compromise. That's not how you run a home. It ain't about compromising when you run a home. It's about listening, brother. But you, brother, have to make this final decision because God holds you the most responsible. Now, this is how God views the home. Listen carefully. Don't hear me. This is how God views the home. At this point, God holds the man responsible, more responsible than the woman in the relationship. Listen to this 2 more times. God holds the man more responsible than the woman in the relationship. A final time. God holds the man more responsible in the relationship than the woman. Now, some of you brothers say, that's not fair. Life is not fair. But when Adam and Eve messed up and God told Eve, you will desire to have control of your home, but he will rule over you, God had to reshuffle the perimeter because before Adam and Eve did that, they was really on even kill. They were really on even kill. They were to produce and dominate. But when they messed it up, God had to modify the relationship between a man and a woman. Now, why did he have to modify it? And Sister Teresa Thomas, she said Eve was the seed. Let's see what Sister Teresa Thomas is talking about. She said something very important. We go to 1 Timothy 2:14. 1 Timothy 2:14. 1 Timothy 2:14. And it is written, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Thank you, Sister Teresa. That's what it is. Adam was not deceived. Adam was more analytical. The woman was more emotional. Listen again. The man was more analytical. The woman was more emotional. The man was more analytical. The woman was more emotional, even when Eve was perfect. Why did Satan approach Eve? He did not go directly to Adam. He knew, but he knew how to get to Adam. He got to Adam through Eve. Satan is a created being, and he is super intelligent. He said, I want what Satan wanted. This is what Satan wanted. He wanted to be just like the Most High God. Satan wanted everybody to worship him like God get worshiped. That's his number one goal. So he convinced a third of the angels to follow him, but that was not good enough for Satan. So when Satan was in the garden, he was watching a whole bunch of stuff. He studied Adam and he studied Eve. He said, I can't get him directly. I have to find a way, a crafty way to get to him. So what he did, he studied Eve. He said, I can still get him. I can still get that man, but I got to get him. What does he love? I know that man loves God, but what else does he love? I believe, this is what Satan said, I believe that man loved that woman more than he loved God. That's what Satan said to himself. Now look at it. Satan said, because, why did I say that? Because we know what happened. Adam showed who he loved more. Adam proved Satan right when Adam made a decision to listen to Eve. Because what did God say when he came down to the garden when he was talking to Adam? He said, because you listen to your wife. That's what God told Adam. Because you listen to your wife. So what was God talking about? You should have listened to me, not your wife. I'm the one who created the universe. I'm the one who created you. I'm the one who made that woman from you. That's what God was showing. That's what God was actually telling Adam. It's me. Why would you divide your loyalty up to this woman? Are you saying, Adam, that you love that woman more than me? Adam couldn't say nothing. Basically, his actions showed that he loved Eve more than Adam. He loved the creation more than the creator. Now again, 1 Timothy 2:14, it said, and Adam was not the seed, but the woman being the seed was in the transgression. What does this mean? What does this mean? The topic is, how does God want a man to treat a woman? Now, as it is written in 1 Peter 3:7, as it is written in 1 Peter 3:7, as it is written in 1 Peter 3:7, this is how God wants a man to treat a woman. In the same way, you husband, God didn't say you boyfriends. He didn't say you booze. He didn't say someone that a man that you see every now and then. Brother, he's talking to a man, you single brother. He's talking to you, and the men that are already husbands, he's talking to you. He said, you husbands. It said, live with your wife in an understanding way. What does this mean? Live with a wife in an understanding way. With great gentleness and tact, and with an intelligence regarding for the marriage relationship. So that's what the Bible is saying. It said you have to understand the woman. You have to be gentle with her, and you have to treat her with tact. You see, you have to be soft but yet firm. You understand? Soft but yet firm, but not rude or disrespectful in regard for the marriage relationship, as with someone that is physically weak. That's what the woman is the weaker vessel means. She's just physically weak. That doesn't mean she's mentally or emotionally weak. Since she is a woman, the man, brother, you have to show her honor and respect her as a fellow heir of the grace of God, so that your prayer will not be hindered or ineffective. So God, through Peter, telling you how to treat a woman with gentleness and tact, and use your intellect or your analytic skills on how to treat a woman. You're supposed to just treat your woman, which should be your wife. You're supposed to say, the only difference between her and me is she's physically weaker than me. She's just basically physically weaker than me in general, because some women that's out there that got that muscle, but in general, the woman normally is physically weaker than the man. In general, most of the time, the woman is smaller than a woman, but there are some exceptions. But in general, that's what the Bible is talking about. So, brother, in order to God put you in a head and leadership role in a relationship. Now, the woman is the helpmeet or helper. Understand it, brother. When God brought this woman to you, however God brought this woman to your attention, he brought this woman to your attention, and you have to identify the woman as, I need her. And why do I need her? I need her because she could be a helpmeet, or she could help me. Now, what does it mean by a helpmeet? It means a helper suited to, worthy of, or to help the man, or to say it differently, a helpful companion or partner. So whatever plan God gave you, or what purpose you have in your life, brother, you have to be able to identify. And in order to identify before a woman comes into your life, you have to have a solid relationship with God through his son, Jesus. So you have to be equipped, brother, when God brings a woman into your life. Now, a man, being the husband, you should view your wife, brother. Listen to this. This is how I'm trying to make it as less complicated as possible. Brother, when you marry, if you decide to marry a woman, You supposed to look at your wife as if she is a sheep. Yeah, I said it, like a sheep. If you study a sheep, as a matter of fact, when the show go off, just pull up the internet and see how sheep behave. That's how you should treat your wife. Because you, brother, you are like a shepherd. You're not the shepherd. Jesus is the shepherd. But you're supposed to be just like a shepherd over your wife that's a sheep. And what does that mean? You're supposed to love her. You're supposed to love her to the point whereas you give up your life for her. Case in point, King David, before he became a king, King David, when his job was to watch over the sheep. And what do we know about King David watching over the sheep? It is documented that King David killed a bear and a lion that tried to threaten his sheep. You understand? King David killed a lion that was trying to get his sheep, and he killed a bear that was trying to get his sheep. He was a shepherd boy. You are a shepherd man, and your wife is just like a sheep. David loved his sheep. Jesus loved us because he is the master shepherd. When you look at the 23rd Psalm, what does the 23rd Psalm talk about? The Lord is my shepherd. And it said, I shall not want. Key thing, I shall not want. What does that mean? This lead, brother, into you supposed to provide for your woman. You understand that? You supposed to have an environment that your woman is provided for and she is at ease. Don't you know, brothers and sisters, that a sheep will not drink water that's moving? The water got to be calm. Did you all realize that? The water has to be calm. That's why the Bible says still waters. So, brother, you have to have still water, a peace when you deal with that woman. You don't want to bring confusion in her life. You know why you don't want to bring no confusion in her life? You're supposed to love her and provide for her because she is your helpmeet. You're going to need her for the assignment that God put in your life. You don't have to be a pastor. You don't have to be a minister. You don't have to be no evangelist. You don't have to be no deacon. But whatever God puts you in for you to work, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, when I say work, I didn't say job. I say work. Because your work and your job is different. The job is where you go to pay your bills. But your work is what God put in you to do on his behalf. So you could go to a job, but you're doing your work for the Lord. I'm not talking about what you're doing for as far as your job stuff. Wherever you go, that's your work. Whether you're going to a job, whether you're going around your family, friends, or whatever, your work is what you do on behalf of God. And that woman that you have with her, she has to be a part of the plan. So therefore, you have to love the woman. You have to provide for her. And not only that, you're supposed to protect her against wolves. What do I mean, wolves? Anything that's going to upset her, you supposed to provide. You supposed to protect her because you are your wife's shepherd. Indirectly, because God, Son Jesus, is the master shepherd. But you supposed to duplicate how Christ acts when it comes to his relationship with the church. And when you got to protect her from all forms of wolves. Anything that's going to threaten her, you got to protect her, brother. You got to protect her. Because remember, she's emotional. You are analytical. Just like Jesus protected the sheep, which is us, you supposed to look at your wife as she's a tender sheep. And you got to provide, you got to protect her. And not only that, you got to prepare to lead her. Just like a shepherd leads his sheep, you got to live in a way where you lead her. You lead her where you go. You take her where you need to lead her in a godly way. You don't take her down no narrow road where she could get harmed. When you lead her, you're supposed to go before her. Even though she walking by you, you going before her. So you're supposed to lead her. So remember this, brother. How does God want a man to treat a woman? He wants you, brothers, to love her. He wants you to provide for her. He wants you to protect her. And he wants you to lead her. You, brother, are the leader of the relationship. God holds you more responsible in the relationship than he holds the woman. So some of you guys would say, well, is she accountable? Yeah, she's accountable. She's accountable to God first, then you. Remember, it's not natural for a woman to follow the man. It's not natural. And why do I say that? Because the Bible clearly states that, let me tell you what it says again. You remember when God was talking to Eve, and he was telling Eve that in Genesis 3:16, the back part of Genesis 3:16, it said, and you, meaning the woman, will desire to control your husband, but he will rule over you. Now, brother, if you're not a leader and the head of the relationship, the flesh part of some women would take over, and they were saying, you ain't a man. So some women will feel compelled to be the leader of the relationship. And I know some of you brothers and sisters have seen a relationship where it seems like the woman is the man because she's more aggressive or assertive, and the man is passive. I know you have seen those type of relationship. It shouldn't be that way. When people see you, brothers and sisters, they should see you as the assertive one with a lot of male energy, and they should see that woman with a lot of feminine energy. They should see that woman with a lot of masculine energy, and you, brother, with a feminine energy. Brother, if you are in a relationship and you are married to a woman, your word, brother, is supposed to be the final part. You listen to her because you got to understand, God holds you responsible. You got to answer to God. You don't want God to tell you like he told Adam because you listen to your wife. Now, your wife tell you something from God's standpoint, it's all well and good. Only if she's telling you something from God's perspective. Other than that, you can't listen to her. Even though you love your wife, you can't listen to her if she's telling you something that's going to damage your relationship between you and God. And sister, if your husband, that's supposed to be the leader and head of the relationship, if he's telling you to do something other than what will please God, you are not to do it. It's got to be God and God only. And with that said, my brother and sister, I hope that you all enjoyed tonight's dinner. I hope that you did. I hope that you got something out of it. How does God want a man to treat a woman? God wants you, brother, to treat a woman as if you were walking in her shoes. When you look at that woman, you're supposed to see yourself like Adam said when he saw Eve. Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her a woman. You can know how you can tell a married man that love himself when he love his wife, because it's documented in the Bible. A man that love himself, love his wife. And that's his girlfriend and all that. A man's supposed to be serious. He's supposed to commit. And he's supposed to move to the covenant part of the relationship. A man does not supposed to waste a woman's time. A woman doesn't supposed to waste a man's time. You're supposed to be serious because life is short. I love you, brother. I love you, sister. Peace out.